It is a huge day for me. Now, for the longest time, the DRV 1981 has been part of my sound, if I have a sound. I love what these three little knobs can do, and just the tones from this thing are amazing. And so for the longest time, actually since I bought it, it has never left my board, and it's been my high gain sound. So anytime I needed some heavy rhythm or some soaring leads, this was that pedal that I was using every single time. So this pedal is definitely not going anywhere, but today I'm super excited to share with you just a little bit about a pedal I actually found that will be replacing this. I know, crazy talk. And actually I've tried in the past to replace this pedal. Not because I don't like it, I love it. And as I said, it's not going anywhere. However, I just love experimenting with different sounds. And so I've swapped out my stage 1 and stage 2 drives over the years a bunch, but I could never find anything to replace this. And so that is where the Cornerstone NERO comes in. It's actually already on the board, so I'm not gonna take it off just to show you, but we're gonna look at it together. And I just wanna go over some of the things that it can do if you haven't heard about it, and just give you some of the sounds and just how I'm gonna be using it really. So let's take a look at the NERO. Before I forget, the chain for today is gonna be my Fender JV Modified 60s Telecaster going into my board. Then the only effect I'll have on is some light plate reverb from the Big Sky, and then my compression, which I always leave on from the Jackson Audio Bloom. Out of the board, going into my Tone X's, running a Morgan capture on one side and then a 2-rock on the other side. So that is the chain. Let's take a look at the NERO. This is my first pedal with Cornerstone. I've heard about them for a while because they have popular pedals like the Gladio SC and the normal Gladio, and then the Coliseum. Really interested in those, but when I saw this come out, as I said, I've been on the hunt for something higher gain, and really piqued my interest. Now, in the genre I play with, worship, don't really do a lot with fuzz, and so I was interested but kind of skeptical on, is this fuzz thing really going to work? But that is the beauty of the Cornerstone NERO, is that it is marketed as a fuzz, but there's overdrive tones in it. What's going on here is that they put a fuzz circuit that runs into their Gladio SC, if I'm not mistaken. And so with the compression knob that we'll take a look at, you're able to tune how much of that fuzz circuit goes into that overdrive, the Gladio SC. So let's listen to my bass tone. Okay, and then the settings that you see actually are where I've been kind of leaving it. I kind of found this is a sound I like for now, so I'm still playing around with it, still wanting to get it just right with all the other drives and play well and so forth. But here is where I have it right now. So you can hear, very thick, very lush. I just love the grittiness of it. It is new to me. Again, because of the genre I play, I haven't really been interested in fuzzes until this one. So now I'm curious as to what else I can do. Now, I've messed with modelers, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of the Line 6 Helix stuff where there's fuzz models in there, but I guess what I'm saying is I've never actually had a physical pedal that's a fuzz. Let's set everything at noon. Volume, output gain, quieter, louder. Gain knob, more gain, less gain. Tone, brighter, darker. Those three are pretty standard as far as guitar pedals go. But the compression knob, again, as I said, that's the exciting part, I think, and the interesting part, because when it's counterclockwise, my understanding is it's all fuzz circuit or more fuzz circuit. And then as you turn it clockwise, you start feeding that circuit into their Gladio SC circuit, and it gets more overdrivey as opposed to fuzzy. So we'll take a look at that. And then these two knobs down here are the bias controls. I'm not even going to pretend to understand what bias is. I don't know the science and the magic behind it. But to my ear, when it's to the left, it's a little more open, more more gritty, maybe a little more edgy. And then as I turn it to the right, it's a little smoother, more overdrive compared to a fuzz, I would say. Let's actually refer to the manual here and see what they use. Okay, so from 0 to 50%, gritty and rough. Roll down the guitar volume for a gated tone. And then from 50% to clockwise 100%, overdriven preamp tones, roll down the guitar volume for a clean tone. So that's the official word on it. But let's hear this thing and let's start turning some knobs. That's everything at noon. Let me turn the gain knob all the way down and you'll see this. So you can see even with the gain all the way down, it's still fuzzy, still overdriven. So this is not a light overdrive. This is not a transparent kind of thing. So that is not here. Now let's go to 3 o'clock. I said 3 o'clock? I'm at 9 o'clock. And then we already did noon, so I'm going to skip over that and go to the good stuff at 3 o'clock. That's a lot of fun to play with that much gain. So let's max it out, see what we got. Oh yeah, so there's a lot of gain on tap. Let's set it back to noon for now though. And then I'm just gonna sweep through the tone real quick. So here's at noon. So to my ear, it does get a little brighter, but it's not really going to go from super bright to super dark. I think it lies somewhere in between. I think it's super usable throughout the whole sweep, but I will say I think it leans a little more towards the darker side in terms of tone than super bright. Now, of course, other factors from your other pedals to your guitar are always going to play, but that's just what I'm hearing right now. So the compression knob, this is the part I said was pretty interesting because counterclockwise, more fuzz, clockwise, more fuzz into the Gladio SC. So let's hear that. Here's noon. Ooh, put the tone back at noon. And now let's go compression all the way to the left. So for sure, the more I turn it to the right, it starts to get smoother, less of that bitey, edgy high end maybe. Not sure of the science again behind it, but That's just how I'm hearing it. More open, more gritty, more edgy to the left, more smooth to the right. So now let's crank it all the way. Oh yeah, I mean, at that point, it kind of sounds more like a distortion, I guess, or a heavily overdriven pedal than a fuzz. Yeah, so I think you can find somewhere in there that you can use throughout the whole sweep of the knob, whether you want it more open, more edgy, more rough, or a lot smoother, more like you know, a distortion pedal you might have. So now let's play with the biases. They're exactly the same switch, so they're not doing something different from the other. The only thing is you can have two settings, and then you can go from the white mode to the red mode with the foot switch. So here's noon. Well, we've been hearing noon the whole time. And now let me turn it to the left. So yeah, to me, to my ear, what I'm hearing is more to the left. It's a little brighter, got a little more bite to it, more edgy. And then as I'm turning it to the right, it's starting to get a little smoother, which, like the manual we read, makes sense. So let's go back to noon and then look at the right-hand side. And now all the way to the right. So I don't hear too drastic of a difference once I hit 50% and I go to the right to 100%, but definitely now let's put this one all the way to the left and this one all the way to the right. So we're going to go from one extreme to the other, and then I'll just use the foot switch to flip back and forth so you can hear that. Yeah, so the difference is a lot more apparent when I do the comparison that way, because to the left, so on the white mode here, I'm hearing a lot more low end, sounds a lot more jagged, more your fuzz sound, and then when I switch to the right-hand side, some of that low end just isn't there like it is all the way to the left, and it's a lot smoother like I've been saying. So definitely, and that's where I've kind of been living, from 50% to 100 on the overdrive. So incredible, incredible stuff. Gets a lot of similar tones that I feel like I'm not going to miss the 1981 too much. The 1981 does its own thing, but like I said, this is the first time I've found something as close to my love for that one where I can feel confident to leave it on the pedal. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you got a little taste of the Cornerstone NERO. This isn't sponsored or anything. I bought it myself. I just really like it, really enjoyed it. And they got to be doing something good over there because I'm seeing it land on a lot of boards. And I'm feeling really good about my decision to put it there in place of the 1981. Looking forward to playing with it more, doing more things with it, and just keep exploring all the sounds that it has. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.